Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in this video I will be going over the top 5 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray discs from November 2023. Another month is in the book, so it's time to go over the top 5 4K Blu-ray discs from November 2023. We're getting towards the end of the year, so my top 10 overall 4K discs, both in new theatrical releases and catalog titles, will be coming up in just a few short weeks. But for this video, we're just going to handle what came out in November. Also, if you're curious about my thoughts about the top 5 4K discs from catalog titles released in this past month, I will post that to my Patreon account. Head on over there and check it out. For my number 5 pick, that's going to go to a Lionsgate release who, as a studio, I feel puts out some really solid offerings on the format. And the latest in the Saw franchise, Saw X, gets the number 5 spot. In my opinion, a really well-rounded visual and audio presentation. Of course, it has the usual trappings, no pun intended, audio-wise. Of course, it has some good stuff going on, a lot of multi-directional activity. And while this film is a little bit more, I would say, different than your typical Saw movie, I think it works really good. And top that off with a nice solid HDR grading. No Dolby Vision was included here. I think it really brings the whole thing together. Visually, looks good. Audio-wise, pretty up there. It's also just one of those movies that I think, maybe not a lot of people have checked out, but I would recommend you do so for the first time. Pick up your 4K copy. When you think of 4K and Sony, in my opinion, they are one of the best labels out there, and they do a great job with their new releases and catalog stuff. But for this pick, my number 4, Equalizer III, it's a really good effort from the studio. It's not quite, I would say, reference level, but it's really up there. Visually looks great. You get that nice, gorgeous looking Dolby Vision, and the Atmos, when those action scenes kick in, really give you a lot to enjoy audibly. In my opinion, The Equalizer 3 as a movie is probably right behind the first one as far as enjoyment, but it's got a great 4K presence, and if you own a 4K player, I recommend you pick this one up. In my opinion, the Steelbook is also the way to go, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, The Equalizer 3, I think really Sony did a great job with this. I'd expect nothing less from the studio, and that is why it is my number 4 pick. For my number 3 pick, it's an action film, once again released by Lionsgate, and I don't feel it deserves a lot of the hate that it gets online. I actually enjoyed it. No, it's not the strongest in the series, and there's some problems with it, especially with some of the dodgy CGI, but I digress. I still enjoyed it, and if you own the 4K, Expendables 4, you're going to get a very superb presentation. Visually, this movie looks gorgeous. It's pretty clean, unlike some of the other Expendables movies that had some either digital grain or some stylistic choices behind it. This is like as squeaky clean as you can make it, and there's a good level of HDR, and just, I think it really gives you a nice visual presentation. And the Atmos, this is why action films and Atmos tracks really go together, because this sounds fantastic. There's a lot of good explosive moments, gunfire, and those punches land with authority. Once again, not the strongest movie in the series, but very enjoyable in my opinion. So if you're going to give this one a shot as a blind buy, go with the 4K. When I went into my number 2 pick, this was a complete blind buy, and I wasn't expecting much, but I found myself really enjoying the story. And once again, released by Sony, Gran Turismo. This is an exceptional 4K disc, and definitely is going to be in the running for one of the best of 2023. This has some fantastic audio. I mean, really, it's car racing. And when those engines rev and those cars are racing around the track, you are going to get a good home theater workout. I can't recommend this enough just based off the audio. This is one of the best of the year. And visually, also fantastic. Sony knows what they're doing, and they really give you a nice, rich palette. The movie, in my opinion, once again, is enjoyable, and to top that off with a really solid 4K, I think most people need to check this out, and I would highly recommend you do so on the format. And for my number 1 4K release of November 2023, that will go to the master himself, Christopher Nolan, and Oppenheimer. In my opinion, this is hands down the best 4K disc of this past month. Visually, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yes, it only sports HDR, but the image is so clean and it's dialed in, and it's not going to be unnaturally poppy. It's not going to have that, complete lushness. It's very natural. It's got that vintage style look to it. And of course, they alternate between color and black and white, and both are done very well. But really, I mean, nobody can squeeze out a 5.1 audio track like Christopher Nolan, and this one is no exception. This is honestly a sub-killer kind of a film. Yeah, an Atmos track would have been nice, but I don't hold it against it. But the 5.1 is spectacular. Every moment on screen, they squeeze every bit of just audible detail into that 5.1 channel. Yeah, I mean, Oppenheimer on 4K, spectacular movie, one of my favorites of this past year, and a 4K edition that matches it. Definitely check this one out. So those are my top 5 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray discs from November 2023. Don't forget, if you want to hear my thoughts on the past month's catalog releases on 4K, I will post that over to the Patreon. More importantly, we're getting ready for the 4K best of and worst of 2023. I'm putting those lists together as we speak. So look for those videos in the coming weeks. Now it's your turn in the comment section below. Let me know what top titles of this past month are on 4K that you picked up for yourself. Let's sound off down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.